Oh man, so Bitcoin is up 1.22%, Phantom up 1.58%, but I can't help but notice that on this day, which is supposed to be a Good Friday, we are teetering on the edge of a cliff here on crypto. And I've got to be honest with you, I've got to share the price levels I think Bitcoin and Phantom could be heading to the downside. Now, I know that's not ideal. I know that's not what we want to hear. But as I'm committed to doing, I'm here to bring you the realistic assessments of what I think is happening so we can prepare accordingly. This is not a pump channel. This is not a Moonboy channel. I'm not going to come to you and make a video saying Phantom to $10 this year when I don't see it in the charts. So we're going to look at these key levels. We're at a critical point, which I have to share with you. If you like my perspective, as always, and the blend between technicals and fundamentals, hit up the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. These videos are brought to you by myself. Yes, more about our course member lives in the description. Link to ijaz.uk/member. But for now, guys, let's look at Bitcoin. And we're sitting here on the daily chart of Bitcoin, and we can see what happened was we broke to the downside of this wedge. And we know the technical price target to the downside of this wedge, once you lose the consecutive levels, which we'll talk about shortly, to the downside, gets you as low back into the 34,000 range here on Bitcoin. Now, what we thought might happen is, you can see, if let's head over to the file and show you a little bit clearer. You can see we almost went to have a retest, right? We look like we're going to try and get back into the wedge, but we didn't. And you can see we got rejected by the wedge, and it just turns out it was a retest, and we look like we're heading back down to the downside. Now, this is not ideal because our next levels of support, once we break through 39,000, is then 38.5, then 37, and eventually you start working the long-term price target back down to the 32, 33 range. This is not looking good for Bitcoin right now. The other worrying side is the backdrop of the wider economy, and the wider economy right now doesn't really have an excuse to rally. They're kind of a bit nervous. We've obviously got a day off today for trading, but they're going to open up on Monday, and investors are worried about earnings season. Worried about earnings. They're worried about what companies are going to say in terms of inflation and how it's affecting their customers, and looking out for any assessments companies are making about their Q2 trading as well in their forecasts. So with that backdrop, with the Fed meeting on May the 4th for the FOMC meeting, where the markets are trying to understand whether we're going to get a single rate hike or a double rate hike, and also whether the balance sheet is going to shrink quickly or slowly, that's called quantitative tightening. This backdrop is making it very difficult for the wider economy to rally, and therefore Bitcoin is remaining here in this critical position where we could be breaking to the downside. There's no positive news for us to start pushing to the upside here. So we need to be realistic. That best case scenario, what we can try to do is try to get back into this wedge and hold to the side. Try to work our way back to 44.5. That's the only way we're going to reverse this pattern. If you've not watched my video from yesterday about reversal patterns, go check that out. I did a technical analysis breakdown of reversal patterns. Those are the kind of things you can expect from our 3 times weekly course member live streams, where we do a whole bunch of TA, whole bunch of fundamentals, tokenomics. You guys can ask me any questions. We can critique your portfolio and a whole lot more. So the risk I'm looking at for here now on Bitcoin is, are we going to lose the 40,000 mark? Are we going to head towards 39? If we lose that support again, then the lower price targets come into play. And if you look at the weekly chart, you can see similar stories. In fact, let's get a cleaner chart here. And this is the chart I'm working towards on the weekly. And you can see we're in this pattern where we're creating higher highs and we've created higher lows. And we were hoping that we could start working our way up to 70,000. But these last 3 weeks has thrown us to the downside. Now, if we can rotate from where we're at, this pattern is not too bad, right? Because you've created, if you rotate here, you've created higher lows. You've stayed to the uptrend here. Okay, so it's not too bad. But if we start losing these levels down here, then we need to then hold the critical level out here, which was the 32,987 level. So to call it 32,900, that was the lowest we went to in January. We can't go lower than that. So it's fine for us to come down and try to test from here at 34. That's fine. And then work our way up. That wouldn't be an issue. But if we lose this level here, that could be really bad, and we could be heading to lower targets such as 29, which we really don't want to see here on Bitcoin. Because remember, if you start fighting for 29, then this whole pattern could break down, and that could become very worrying quick for Bitcoin. But let's not get there just yet. Let's focus on what we need to do now in the short term. What are the key levels? And the key levels right now here, back on the daily chart, is to focus on the immediate levels. And those immediate levels are obviously the 40,000 mark we're at right now. We're just $500 above 40,000. If we lose that level, we're going to be fighting for 39,000 again, and then we're going to work successively through these yellow lines. Now, if we look at the fear and greed index, you can see we're sitting at 22. Okay, this is just testament to the fact that the market is spooked right now. They understand we're on a cliff edge and that very quickly Bitcoin could be heading down to 33, 34 range. That's what the technical patterns are showing. And so you can see that fear started to come back into the market. If you look at this on the yearly chart, in just a couple of, since 28th of March, so literally in 2.5 weeks almost, we've fallen from fear greed index of 60 all the way back down to 22. Shows how quickly this market changed its mood based on where Bitcoin sits right now. Okay, so without further ado, let's take a look at FANTOM, because as we know, FANTOM is going to obey where Bitcoin is heading as the macro trend. But the other thing we can see is that FANTOM is creating our bear flag. Continue to see that's playing out. I just show you here, we're in this massive bear flag, which we're moving towards our horrible price target of 96 cents, right? That's where the technical target is showing us. And you can see we're already sitting here at $1.17, but we've held up some good support here at $1.17. But again, the worry is this just a calling off? You can see here we had a move, we called off, we had a move, we called off at the next support level, which was 126. We had a move down to 117, and we're just calling off before we head down to our next support level, which goes in at 96 cents. So this is what we're wondering here now. In order for FANTOM to really start heading dangerously to $1 or below, Bitcoin's going to have to start heading towards 30,000. So that is my next target now. That is what I'm looking out for in order to do my next serious bit of buying on crypto. If we see Bitcoin heading towards 32, 33, I'll be making very heavy nibbles on crypto, on my favorite crypto, including FANTOM. I will be buying some more because if Bitcoin's heading towards 32, 33, FANTOM will be very close to $1, if not trying to break the dollar mark to the downside. So that is at the point I will be topping up. You guys know the last time I was topping up decent amounts was at 103, 104 level. So definitely anything close to $1 again, I will be nibbling here on FANTOM because I have high conviction. If you don't have high conviction, guys, please stay well away from that. These prices could fall quite a bit. If you don't have high conviction in your plays right now, do not be buying. You're teetering on the edge of a cliff. You want to buy into something that you know has a parachute, right? When I buy Bitcoin at 30,000, I know it's got a parachute. If it fell to 20, I'm not selling. Same with FANTOM. If FANTOM fell to 60 cents, I'm buying more. I'm not selling at that point. My conviction's there in the project, and that's not going to change unless something fundamental changes in the project. Now, I'm not blind to fundamental changes. If fundamental things change, FANTOM gets hacked, if something happens with the founding team, if something fundamentally happens with the technology or some news comes out, of course I'll reevaluate my position. I'm not as blind as to say, I'm in FANTOM for the rest of my life. No. If things change with the project, including Bitcoin, including any single investment I have, I'm willing to revisit my position. I don't have blind faith. I have rational, logical belief in a project, and I can manage my emotions to make sure I'm buying on the dips. So that's what I'm looking to do here. Now, if we bring on the EMA ribbon on the daily, you can see we're super extended here. So we could even get a rally, a little bit of a rally to 126, but we're just going to get rejected by EMA ribbon. Well, the bears are in control here. Strong moves to the downside. The brief rallies we've had have all been relief rallies. This is a relief rally. This is a relief rally. This is a relief rally here. These are all relief rallies, and eventually the bears continue to push us to the downside. If we look at Bitcoin, similarly, we're well below our EMA ribbon right now. So even, it need to close above 42.5 sort of range in order to close back bullish on its daily EMA ribbon. So it's the bears are in control in these situations, and you can see the bulls are struggling. There's no major catalyst to help us to the downside, and so that is why I'm personally preparing for lower levels. If we start heading towards 37,000 on Bitcoin, I'm not going to be going heavy. I might do tiny nibbles. The closer we get to the next support line, which is our 36 sort of level, I'm buying a little bit more. But definitely if we start heading towards 33, 34, those levels, my buys start to become a bit more significant. If we see 30,000 on Bitcoin, I would be going in very heavy on Bitcoin and associated altcoins, because you best believe altcoins will be getting hit as well. Now, that's the technicals out of the way. Let's also focus on a fundamental aspect. Sometimes we just need to zoom out and remind ourselves that this is what we're working with. This is the project that we're talking about in terms of FANTOM. And when you look at the address, these are unique addresses. This is parabolic. I mean, we're talking 2.8 million here as of April the 14th. Let's just go back down, because I remember when we made a video covering when this broke 2 million. 2 million, very roughly, like February. It broke 2 million in February of this year. So from February to where we're at now in April, and that's February 10th, by the way, to call it a couple of months, 2 months, yeah, we have managed to gain 1 million active addresses on FANTOM. Now, the initial million would have taken, it took you all the way up to here. So from the inception of the project up to October, right? To October, so that's 5 months ago, took us to get to 1 million. And in 5 months, we've managed to add 2x that on top, another 2 million on top of the 1 million here, close to almost 3 million here on Phantom. So that is what you call adoption. And these are the fundamental metrics we need to keep an eye out. We need to keep looking at. Of course, we continue to look at the total value locked as well. Yes, they've lost some momentum on their total value locked, but again, they still have to recover from the whole Phantom, the Andre Cronje issue. So we'll give them a doubt for that. Still see here, we're still sat in the top 6, guys, for a project which is sitting at 3 billion market cap, sitting amongst these giants, you know, Ethereum, Solana, Binance Coin, who have 10x their market cap. It just goes, Phantom is pound for pound fighting well above its weight class. And that's what makes it a great value for us. You can see here TVL has kind of moved sideways since the Andre Cronje issue. It needs to stabilize. It's good that it's stabilized here around the 5.8. I'd be worried if this was kind of coming back down to kind of levels around 4 billion. It's good that it's holding up. Yes, we saw some money flowing out of Phantom during that period. A lot of people were panicking. That's how it works. But let's see that start to build up now. Let's see them try to do some more work around gaming, around NFTs, around the metaverse. That's really going to help Phantom take things to level. Now, speaking of that, on Monday, yes, Monday, I will be speaking with Phantom CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, Simone Pomposi. So he's been kind enough to give us an interview here on this channel. And I want the questions to come from you guys, the Phantom community. I can sit here and ask my questions, but that's not the point. The point is we have here the CMO of Phantom on the channel, and I want you guys to put your questions to him. So head into the pinned comment below, guys. That's going to take you to our free public Discord server where you can head over into there. There'll be a channel which says Phantom CMO questions. Head into there, post your questions. The most upvoted questions will be selected, and I will be asking and putting those questions to Simone Pomposi on Monday. So guys, head into the Discord, get your questions asked. This is a really unique opportunity to ask the questions which you guys have on the project, and we can ask those questions. Let's make them 4 questions, things which we've not heard before. Let's really ask the questions that the community want to hear. As always, guys, if you appreciate this blend between technicals and fundamentals all in one video, make sure you smash up the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. If you like my perspective, check out the links on joining our course member live streams, ijaz.uk/member. Link for that is in the description. What I'm going to do now is at the end of this video, I'm going to link up the video to the Phantom Tokenomics video. If you've still not watched that, you guys need to hurry over to that video and watch it. Not only do I break down the tokenomics of Phantom and show you how you should break down the tokenomics of any coin, but I also show you the one Achilles heel in the Phantom Tokenomics, which I'm going to bring up with Simone Pomposi on Monday, because it is a bit of a worrying sign. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.